What's up and hello everyone. Wow, can you believe we are here talking about Survivor season 35 episode 4. I cannot believe that we're already on episode 4 with a tribe swap. It felt like the season premiere was just last week, but it was actually a month ago. So that is super crazy, and my name is Rachel.
And I'm Alyssa, and so I feel like part of the reason why this felt like the episode after the premiere instead of like a month later is because stuff actually happened, and it's like, whoa, there's actual strategy going on here, and like the episode was actually pretty interesting. Like I haven't been like super impressed with any of the episodes so far this season, so I feel like this episode was definitely like the best of the four that have like been aired so far.
No, I 100% agree. This was definitely the best episode of the season so far. And I mean, right now, Alyssa and I are both in like the middle of our semester, so everything is super stressful, but I feel like having Survivor is something that makes the week a little bit less stressful, even though like there's so much shit going on. But I agree. This was a really, really good episode. So I guess like the episode starts with the tribe swap in general, and when the red tribe was walking in, everyone was surprised about Patrick being voted out, and I really like these scenes when everyone's like, oh my god, like that kind of thing, because it sort of brings you back, like they don't know who got voted out, and so like going to these reward challenges, going to these immunity challenges are like super interesting because you can see like who got voted out and stuff like that. And I don't know, this scene like reminded me of when Terry Dietz left Second Chance, like 3 tribes standing there, and then they like tribe swapped right after. And I don't know, it just reminded me of that scene. And then I was like, shit, I really want to rewatch Second Chance now.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised because I was expecting they were gonna wait until next week and then merge the 3 tribes into 2. So I was surprised that they like swapped among the 3 instead of like merging into 2 tribes.
Yeah, because I thought like they usually don't do 3-3 and then maybe like the real merge later. They usually do like 3-2 and then merge, or 3-2-3 merge. So I thought that was interesting too. I was expecting like how would they do 5-5-1 as like a tribe, but I don't know. I think the new tribes, like the way that they were split, are actually really, really interesting. You know, you have like majorities and minorities like based on the tribes that everyone was set in at the beginning, but you know, Survivor, it's not going to happen that way. So I think like everything that we've seen in this episode was very interesting, and I think like the next few episodes are going to be so interesting because now I see the characters, why some people were cast, because before I feel like everyone felt very, very bland to me.
Yeah. I feel like one of the good things about this tribe swap too is like there's not like one tribe that is obviously physically dominant or anything. And then also there's like not an obvious answer to every tribe like who's going to be voted out next, because it's like there are different alliances in play, but then within those alliances I feel like there's a lot of discord. Like the really solid alliances that I saw were Chrissy and Ben, and then Devin and Ryan, and I thought those 2 pairs were never going to be like, I don't think they would be easily persuaded to vote against each other, but both of them got separated. And then Jessica and Cole, which was like the other strong pair, got kind of messed up this episode, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, I think I would have to maybe like disagree with what you said about a tribe that isn't like the tribe to be the super dominant tribe, because I feel like in the reward challenge we saw that yellow red team was in first, and that's like the Cole and Jessica tribe. All the colors are all messed up now. I don't remember anything. And then so red was first, and then yellow was second, and blue was last. We saw that happen in the reward challenge, and then immunity challenge. We saw that same like first, second, third place win happen. So I feel like red might be like more physically dominant in challenges, and then yellow is like second, and then blue lost both reward, and then they went to tribal council later. So I think it'd be interesting to see like next episode if like red is like actually physically dominant, or if they're like Alyssa was saying, like everyone is sort of on like the same kind of like like
I
athletic.
feel like it's just their ability to like work together that like changes. Because
Yeah.
like yellow and red, I feel like they have more people that know each other already on those drives. So
Yeah, could be that as well. Cause like Jeff was saying in the reward challenge, like, oh, these people have never worked together, blah blah blah, like while they're untying the like braided rope kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, PB and J sandwiches, they looked good. Red wins. I feel like winning reward challenges, like, yes, it is good for morale. Like, yes, you do get food. Like, yes, you feel like happy, like blah blah blah. You just tribe swapped and you win this great reward. But I feel like in the long run, it doesn't really mean that much.
I feel like the only good thing about like having these reward challenges because like it's become kind of a pattern that like oh there will be advantages hidden within the rewards, which we saw with Jessica. So it's like if you win rewards then you have a higher chance of like finding yourself an advantage. So
Yeah, so the new red tribe is with Jessica, Mike, and Cole, and all three of them were on the healers tribe. We have Ben, and then from healers. And then we have Ben on the heroes tribe, and then Lauren from the hustlers tribe. So it looks like a like sort of 3-1-1 majority minority where they could just vote out Ben and Lauren like if they went to tribal council twice. But they win the reward challenge and then they win the immunity challenge. But I feel like I don't know. I think the tribe swap was so interesting because, like, even with this tribe with a 3-1-1 majority, I 100% feel like Ben and Lauren are not gonna go home come a tribal council. But I feel like with this whole advantage that Jessica has, I feel like Ben and Lauren aren't the odd ones out. But I feel like the other three are sort of seeing Cole and Jessica as like a duo, like they're always together kind of thing.
yeah, and I feel like that's like we saw all of the drama playing out with like Ashley and JP as a power couple, so I feel like Jessica and Cole definitely need to be careful to avoid that power couple like label, but I feel like it's kind of too late for that.
Yeah, and I feel like Jessica's so like cute and quirky when she was talking about finding the chip in the bag or the advantage in the bag. She was like, "It looked like a big chip. I almost ate it. Like that would have been awful." And then she starts like laughing to herself. I was like, "That's so cute." But she finds this advantage in her chip bag, and it's to block one person from voting at tribal council. So we sort of saw something similar with Ryan's advantage at the beginning of the game. And I don't know, I think these new, I guess, advantages, because we've never seen anything like this before in Survivor, are like interesting. I feel like to like this was sort of like a negative advantage for the person she gives it to. So I feel like Ryan's one was like a good advantage, like, oh, you can like not be voted out at tribal council. This is like you can't vote at tribal. So I don't know. I like liked it. I liked how it played out at this episode. But then again, it's also like, oh, if your fan favorite got voted out because of this, like Malcolm, then you would hate the advantage. So I don't know. I thought it was like interesting this episode at least.
I feel like the situation with Malcolm was a little different just because like the whole combined tribal things like definitely made it different. Hashtag still bitter. But I thought it was really interesting because like we talked a little bit about how like we didn't really like advantage Mageddon last season because it resulted in Sari getting voted out literally with 0 votes. And so it's like I like that these are kind of time sensitive. Like you either use it this tribal council or not at all, or you make someone else use it this tribal council basically. And I think that's a great way of making sure that like you don't end up with like 5 or 6 advantages all being played at the same time.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, I agree because like when everyone holds it until like the final five, when it's like last time to play all your stuff, then it's like you get gypped when you're like the one or two people that don't have an advantage to like block votes or like keep yourself immune, and then you get voted out like so close to the end, so close to the finale. But yeah, I think like Jessica gets this advantage. I'm like, good for her. Like we're seeing more of Jessica on the screen, which I really like because like 2 episodes ago, it was Cole mainly talking about Jessica. We didn't really hear much from Jessica, but like coming into last episode, coming into this episode, I feel like we've learned more about Jessica, and like she I feel like she knows like what she's doing in the game, sort of, and like she's thinking about strategy and stuff like that. Like she tells Cole and Mike about the advantage, which is good for Jessica, like getting trust, trying to keep like the Cole, Mike, and Jessica like healers circle alive. But then Cole basically fucks her over. I text Alyssa this during like when I was watching the episode. Alyssa hasn't watched it yet, but like Cole uses this advantage to tell Ben and Lauren to try to get their trust, and I'm like, Cole, you are like basically fucking Jessica over, and it looks bad for like both of you.
I feel like it's interesting because Cole is like, oh, this is the olive branch that I get to extend to people, and it's like, it's not your olive branch to give. Like, it's Jessica's advantage, and like she told you it in confidence, so.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think the Cole and Jessica thing isn't going to last long, just based on the fact that I feel like one of them has to go in order for like the other to be successful. And it makes me sort of nervous because I feel like they're going to target Jessica, or someone will target Jessica and Jessica will be the one voted out. But I'd rather see Cole go home and see Jessica like go further in the game, because I feel like Jessica, I don't know, I'd want to see Jessica more over Cole. So I really hope it's not going to be like that, but I definitely feel like if the red tribe now, if this red tribe goes to tribal council, like it will have to be a Cole versus Jessica vote out.
I really think that it would be Cole, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think also like during this time it was smart of Lauren to like suss out Mike. I thought that was like a really interesting move. And then because Mike does know about this advantage, like then you see that Jessica and Cole are really close, and Cole is actually playing the game, which sucks for Jessica, and basically says like you can't trust boys because they'll go and like turn on you, and like Jessica crying, that was so sad.
Yeah, Jessica just makes me so sad because like I feel like she definitely has a lot of strategic potential in the game, but like she picks Cole and she picked wrong, and sometimes like the people you choose to be your allies in the beginning of the game can really like screw you over.
Yeah, so I think we'll see this play out. I feel like soon. I feel like, yeah, both of them can't make it to the merge, I don't think.
Yeah. And I also think it might be interesting to see like the aftermath of that, just because I feel like that's both of their main storylines right now. So
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Moving on to the new yellow tribe. It is Ryan and Allie from the Hustlers, Chrissy and JP from the Heroes, and then Rourke from the Healers. And I think looking at this tribe, Rourke is definitely going to be in trouble, because I feel like Ryan and Allie are super solid. Like at least they would vote together, and then Chrissy and JP are somewhat solid. And even if like those four don't work together, I feel like Ryan, Allie, and Chrissy, because Ryan tells Chrissy that he gave her that advantage, those three would at least be solid, and that's all you need in a tribe of 5. And I feel like Chrissy would vote Rourke over voting JP out because of the whole heroes thing. So I feel like Rourke on this tribe is gonna have a lot of work to do.
I feel like also the way Rourke has been edited, it's kind of obvious that she's not like really that important. And well, she definitely could be used like kind of the way Devin was used, as like the swing vote type thing. It's like,
Yeah, it could be like the Devin swing vote, but I feel like with this tribe, the foursome, I don't see Chrissy wanting to vote JP out. I don't see Ryan and Allie wanting to vote each other out based on like their dynamics in like their previous tribes, because Ryan and Allie were close. Ryan really respects Allie, and I feel like Chrissy has a lot of good relationships on her heroes tribe. Like when she was talking to everyone trying to find like the power couple mate, like she talked to JP, she talked to Ashley, she talked to Ben, and like finally decided on like power coupling up with Ben. So I feel like that those four, like if they do decide to work together, like that could be a solid group, and then bring in like Devin and them after the merge.
yeah. I feel like one of the things is, like, we were talking about how normally they like merge to 2 and then to 1. I feel like it's interesting because with this style of merge, you don't get to like talk with as many people. I feel like as you might like if there are multiple more switches. So I think it'll be interesting to see if they switch again before the merge because like the people like Chrissy and Ryan and Allie who are like putting their fingers in everyone else's pies, like the more pies you can get your fingers into, the better.
Yeah, I really hope they do another switch because like you're saying, the more people that people meet before the merge, like the more different alliances that can be created once the merge happens, then I feel like the merge will be super interesting because you won't know like, oh, like we know like hustlers are going to stay with hustlers, but like no, hustler people met like some of the healers people and they might want to form alliances with them, stuff like that, to like fix their own interests in mind. So I really hope they do a merge to 2 and then do like the real a tribe swap to 2 and then do the merge because I feel like just that'll be just more interesting tribe dynamics that is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, that's all I got to say about these peeps. So that leaves.
yeah. We didn't see much from the yellow tribe besides the Chrissy Ryan thing. So moving on to the blue tribe, we have Ashley and Alan from the Heroes, Desi and Joe from the Healers, and then Devin from the Hustlers. And LOL, Ashley did not want to be with Alan out of all the people on the show. Like she didn't want to be stuck with him again. But I feel like during this time when we're just seeing tribe dynamics before they go like to the immunity challenge before tribal, I feel like it was really good that Ashley and Alan were able to have like the talk to put like the past behind them, put it under the rug, and like work together in the future. And like their ideas for who to vote out like is smart. Like there's 6 healers left. We need to dwindle their numbers. That could have been something really interesting that Ashley and Alan like could have like pursued, I guess, if their plan worked out. And like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I just think it was good that Ashley and Alan were able to work together because I could totally see Ashley like flipping and like voting with the majority to vote Alan out. So that was
Yeah. I feel like it's good when you can like differentiate between like what might be good for you in the long term and the short term. Because like short term, it might be easier for Ashley to vote Alan out because it's like he annoys her and like yeah. But like in the long term, it is better to make sure that she keeps people who could be potential allies like close to her and stuff.
Yeah, and I think at least like this vote out was definitely like the best thing that could have happened to Ashley in the show so far. I think like before tribal, before immunity challenge, like Joe was, I don't know, Joe I feel like can't win this game because he's so fake. I feel like he's so obvious when he's lying and he's playing a little bit too hard. I mean, I don't know, I feel like Joe could go far in the game, but I don't see him winning because I feel like he just brushes people the wrong way maybe, and I don't know if like this jury will be bitter or like if they'll reward someone like that $1 million.
Yeah, I feel like we were definitely like right on point when we called him Bargain Brand Tony as far as to like he goes at the game really hard, but I feel like he lacks some of Tony's social graces where like Tony wasn't the best at like people, but like he also wasn't as bad as Joe. Like Joe, I feel like just like everything that he does like makes it's really difficult even if he did play a good game. I feel like it's really difficult to award him $1 million just 'cause he's not even rude. He's just so oblivious, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's just like that kind of personality. I feel like even if it's not rude, like it just brushes people the wrong way. I was like sort of uncomfortable watching, and like it's just sort of awkward, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this episode also, I was really glad that we got to see Devin without Ryan because I feel like in the last few episodes we saw like, oh, Devin is Ryan's right-hand man. Devin doesn't really think for himself. Like it's Ryan doing all the work kind of thing. So I really enjoyed seeing Devin like play the game for himself kind of thing. And I think like being away from Ryan will be good for Devin if like Devin wants to have a shot to win the $1 million. He can't be so like, I'm Ryan's like right-hand man. Like he needs to play for himself, I feel like. And Devin is super attractive. He has really nice eyes.
Yeah, I feel like definitely as far as like Devin's game getting away from Ryan is good, but that's only if he can, I feel like, maintain the same level of strategy. Because I feel like in a way, if they're never separate, then like he could sow some seeds of doubt as far as like which one of us was actually the strategic mastermind. But like if Devin is only ever good when he's with Ryan, then yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think moving into the immunity challenge, this was a really interesting puzzle. I really liked watching it. I think like Alyssa and I could do a tutorial on it if you guys want, like our other Survivor like DIY immunity challenges, because I feel like this wouldn't be too hard to make if we made like a really small version, and then it'd be like sort of interesting like how these line up in the certain way. So I don't know. That's what I was thinking of when I watched the immunity challenge.
Yeah, I feel like the immunity challenge was just like it. I really like the Survivor immunity challenges that are like deceptively simple, because it's like it looks like it should be really easy because there's not that many pieces to the puzzle, but like when you actually like look at it, it's like yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like there's like different combinations of like what you put on like the bottom and what you put on like the top of your puzzle piece thing. But yeah, I feel like Chrissy wasn't on the puzzle this time, but she was like screaming like, oh, do this, do that, yellow, yellow, yellow are next to each other kind of thing. And I feel like people are like going to, or already are going to realize that like Chrissy is damn good at puzzles. She has basically been on every single puzzle so far in the show. So I feel like people might, you know, want to like target her because like she might be good at puzzles on the individual immunity parts, you know?
Yeah. I feel like it's really interesting because like people focus a lot on like, oh, so and so is a really big guy, he's gonna be good at challenges, but like they never really consider like figuring out who's good at puzzles, which I think is like kind of silly considering puzzles are normally a big component of individual immunity challenges. But like also I feel like if Chrissy wasn't there like directing her people, they might not have like won. So
Yeah, that's what I feel like. So I feel like because of like all of these little things that like Chrissy does to help her tribe win at the puzzle portion every single time, I feel like people are going to realize that like, oh, she's good at puzzles. And I feel like certain people do notice like who gets set up for which parts of immunity challenges, like, oh, who's usually on the physical, who's usually on the puzzle. Because I feel like the same few people up every single time and like every single season of Survivor. So I feel like that's something you have to look at, especially at the beginning of the game when you're all in separate tribes. You need to like suss out your fellow competitors by like looking, you know, because that's the only time you get to see them. It's not like when we're watching on TV, we get to see all three tribes. You only know what like your tribe knows and like what you guys talk about other people.
yeah, and I feel like waiting until like you get to the merge to start like figuring stuff out about other people is really difficult because it's like you now have like anywhere from like 1 to 5 or more like people to figure out. So like trying to figure out 5 people all at once as opposed to like filling in the gaps of what you already know, I feel like is a lot different.
Yeah, I agree. So with that also, like we said, the blue tribe loses immunity, gets last place again. A lot of stuff goes down. I feel like we see Devin and Ashley bond because they're like surfer beach people, and then so you sort of know Devin is going to go with like Ashley Allen vote, so it would be a 3-2 kind of thing. Joe blows up right before tribal council, and I was like, this isn't very good. Like this isn't a great strategy. I feel like he tries to get people to vote for him so he could like play the idol, but then I feel like he does sort of throw Desi under the bus, and I'm glad we got to see more of Desi, but I was like bummed out for Desi when she was crying, because it's like when you're like, oh, the weakest person is Ashley, you're going to like compare her to the only other female on the tribe and then see who's weaker kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I just felt like obviously Joe's strategy worked in the end, but it's like there are definitely better ways of getting like what you want to get.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think, like, the good thing that we saw from Joe this episode was that he was willing to play the idol for Desi, because he's like, I need you around kind of thing. It's like, if I play the idol and it's like wasted and one of us still goes home, it's like he said he needs her around to be the two of them to last another 3 days so they can find cracks, stuff like that. So I was sort of glad that, like, oh, you know, Joe wasn't super selfish about all of this, but he was willing to like save someone from his alliance, because I feel like on the last Yellow Tribe for healers, like we didn't really see Joe have an alliance with people. I feel like we saw more of like Cole trying to get Joe out and Joe trying to get Mike out. So I think it's good that like we saw this aspect of him.
Yeah, I wonder if Joe would have actually played his idol for somebody else, just because he seems like a very self-centered person, and I feel like he would definitely be able to like trick himself into thinking that they were trying to get him out, even if they did all vote for Desi. So I think it would have been interesting
Yeah,
to see like if he actually would have willing to like play for someone else.
yeah, he was like, oh, yeah, probation officer. I was able to read the room. And then I was like, that's interesting, I guess, like if he was actually able to read the room or if it's like lucky guess kind of thing. And I think like at tribal council, it was like Devin got this advantage, and then it's like poor Devin. Um, he read it and he was like, this isn't an advantage. And I don't know. I think this was interesting. Like, Jessica choose Devin to block the vote? Like, why did she choose to block the vote of Devin, who was like the swing vote, rather than since if Jessica wanted to keep the healers strong, like all 6 healers, so that means they wouldn't vote out Desi or Joe, why not pick like one of the people from the blue tribe, so Alan or Ashley, to block the vote of? Because like maybe a higher percentage chance that those two would probably vote for one of your former tribe members over Devin, who was like the sort of swing vote, who could have went with your people to vote out the other people. So I don't know. I was sort of confused as why pick Devin to be the one to block.
Yeah, I feel like I'm still kind of confused as to whether or not Lauren knew that, or not Lauren. Where did I even get that name? Jessica knew that like she would be blocking Devin's vote as opposed to giving him an extra vote, because it's like it wasn't really well explained whether like she knew that the advantage would become a disadvantage. Because if she knew that it would become a disadvantage, then it doesn't make sense to pick Devin. But if she wasn't sure, then it might make more sense to pick Devin. You know?
Yeah, see, that doesn't, yeah, I was just sort of confused, because if you want 100% to keep the yellow tribe strong, you would definitely pick someone who's on the blue tribe, I would think. Just like not even knowing anything about their tribe dynamics, because obviously like Jessica and like whoever she talked to try to make this decision wouldn't know. But I feel like if you want to keep your people strong, you wouldn't give it to the swing vote to block the vote of. But I mean, technically it didn't really change anything, but I guess it would have changed something if Joe didn't have the idol, or if the idol was played incorrectly. Which brings me to my second point. I was sort of confused as why Joe would play the idol, because if you know it's a 2-2 vote right now because Devin isn't voting, you know it's going to be a gridlock. Why not let the votes tie, and then you could like play it next time for sure, because you revote and then you would draw rocks. So I feel like, can you play the idol on the second vote? I wasn't sure.
I don't think you're allowed to play an idol on a revote. That is something that we'd have to check though. But I feel like either way, it would just end up being 1-1 because I feel like in any case it's going to be equally split between the two. So, like, picking someone to play the idol on shortens the process and still gives you the same chances of doing what you want to do. Because, like, since, like, with the revote thing, it would be, since it would be the two people
It
who
would be
didn't get votes voting. So it would be Desi and whoever else.
Desi and Ashley voting.
Yeah, but then Ashley could easily switch her vote to Desi, and Joe would play the idol on himself, but Ashley would have switched her vote at the revote because she wouldn't have to coordinate with anyone else to, like, for the revote.
Yeah, I don't know. I was confused because it's like, I guess if you messed up, if Joe played for himself, but they actually voted for Desi, then it would still be a 2-2 tie, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was confused. I guess it worked out like for their favor, like Joe playing the idol, which sends Alan home. And I think Ashley's facials were really fun to watch. She was like so happy, like so like isn't the one being picked. So I mean, I guess it worked out in the end. It was like interesting tribal council. I feel like there's a lot of different things that could have happened, and there was a lot of different ways you could have gotten to a similar ending point. But like I said, I feel like Alan going home for Ashley and even like the other heroes, I feel like definitely is the best thing for Ashley's game right now and maybe the heroes in the future, because Alan, as we saw, was a little like crazy and like sort of blew up Ashley and JP at the beginning of the game. So I feel like good for Ashley. I think her and Devin working together could, and that definitely brings Ashley into the fold of like the Allie, Ryan, Chrissy kind of alliance, which would be and like Ben alliance which would be a majority in the later times. So I feel like 2 hustlers got voted out so far, 2 healers got voted out so far, and there are 6, I mean heroes. I always mess those words up. 2 heroes voted out so far. So there's 6 healers left, and I feel like because of this, come like merge, come whatever, I feel like the hustlers and the heroes would bond together, and then the healers would be the ones on the non-majority tribe, which it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think what you said about Alan being voted out is definitely true because it shows that Ashley is willing to, like, work strategically with people she might not like personally, and it shows that she's, like, loyal to her alliances even though it might not be, like, her favorite thing, but then, like, it still gets her out of that relationship in order to do the things that you were talking about. So
Yeah, and she's not like the bad girl because she never voted Alan out, but like, you know, it just happened and like now she's doing better. So I think next time on Survivor, the preview like spoiled some things, I guess. They show that Mike community idol. So I guess it's sort of like karma, like, oh, Joe had one and wanted to vote Mike out, and now Mike finds one. The like episode after Joe plays his. Then we see Ben sort of have some like issues, maybe like PTSD from the army. But I feel like the whole Mike having the idol thing, I don't know that what like that sort of, I guess, like ruins like that part of the episode, because usually it's like, oh, will they find the idol, blah blah blah, like just them finding it. It's like the music picks up, everything is super happy kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know, it could mean like Mike is going to play it this episode and it's going to be a big thing, or like the only like explanation, because usually they've never shown this like in the future.
yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens next time, just because, yeah, I'm personally really excited, but once again, I'm not going to be able to watch the episode in real time because I have a chemistry exam. RIP.
Skip all of our exams.
Yeah, pretty much. But if there's anything from this episode that you think we should have mentioned that we didn't, please put it down in the comments below. If you have a theory about Mike and his idol, also place that in the comments because we'd love to see love to see. Yeah, see, hear, whatever. What you have to say about this time, next time, future times, everything in between.
Yeah, and let us know if you want to see us do that Survivor puzzle because I think it'd be super interesting and I'm down to learn it. So,
Yep.
yeah.
We will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.